There's 1,000 different ways you could build something like this. Alrighty guys, welcome back to the channel, and today we are going to be working on my Civic Truck project. So I'm taking a 1992 Honda Civic and I've chopped the roof off and I'm making it into a truck. Let me show you guys. Alright guys, here it is. It's stuffed over here in the corner, but I've slowly been working on it. I've already kind of got started. Long story short, there was a tree that fell on the roof there. It's kind of hard to see. Well, I guess I could show you guys. The video kind of makes it look not as bad, but this section of the roof was caved in pretty bad from a tree. There's also a giant dent there. So it was a perfect candidate to chop it off, build it into a truck, which is what I've always wanted to do. This was the worst part of it. It still is pretty bad, and don't mind my booger welds. Anyways, so I've gotten obviously quite a bit done so far. Roof's been chopped. I've got the window frame, or the outline of the roof, roughly framed out. This is going to be my window. I'm using a custom glass. I opted to build my own instead of using one from another truck. Basically, by building my own glass, I can get the shape exactly the way I want it. I don't want it to look like I just molded in some kind of glass from another truck. Anyways, let's get into some of the details. So what I've done is I've got some 1-inch square stock, 14 gauge I believe it is, and I've slowly bent it to follow the contour of the Civic. So this is the body line. I've tried to just follow that. This is right where I cut the roof. So I just added this in for support. As you can see, I had to do some chops to kind of make this bend. Not perfect way to do it, but I do not have a pipe bender. There's 1,000 different ways you could build something like this. This is just the way I'm doing it. So I'm just showing you guys my process, which is basically going to be adding some supports from the rails down to the floor and getting some of these bed mounts welded up, finishing out my window frame. I'm also going to show you guys how I'm going to mount the factory, or not factory, but a wing that was on the back of the hatch. I'm actually still going to use it up here on the roof. I think that's going to look really cool. And we'll keep on getting this process started. But for now, enjoy some time lapse. Alright guys, so as you just saw, I got that whole piece all welded up, grinded down, and looking good. So now we're going to go ahead and move into this inner structure here. I'm going to start getting this 1x1 square stock all welded up and in place. And we're going to go ahead and make this corner piece here. Ends up being 2 pieces. I normally do one that comes out to about here, and then the other one. Now this piece isn't going to look the greatest, because bending square stock in this angle without a pipe bender and all the proper stuff is a little hard. So like I did in here, I'm gonna do my slices, maybe take a chunk or 2 out to get it to wrap around. Same thing I did on this side. And if you look, once I got the square stock, it's hard to see, but I actually welded a piece of sheet metal in here just to kind of get that nice radius. So when I got this on top, now it's got that nice smooth look. So we're basically just gonna be replicating this side over to this. Once we get this all capped off, then I'm gonna build a support down here and start making room for our inner panel that we're gonna make over here out of some 18 gauge. But before we move into that inner panel, what I'm probably gonna do is start adding some braces to really make this piece strong. I'm gonna connect where the square stock is to the factory pillar there on both sides, and get some of this welded up, and just kind of keep rolling on some of the more structural stuff of this before I go into doing the cosmetics of the sides and building out the floor. So I'm gonna get this piece made up, we'll get this all welded out, and then we'll move into the front. I'm probably not gonna show a whole lot of me doing this bar because it's kind of tedious and kind of boring to watch. So I'll check back in with you guys once I get that piece all tacked up. All right, guys, so I went ahead and got my bar made. The second support of that rail is now done. As I was explaining here a second ago, I was making this bend here. I got all that done. This second rail is all supported and ready to go. It just needs to be capped like I did on this side. I'm gonna do that a little bit later. What I've been working on is making my front support for this floor. This is gonna be the bed height. I'll try and stand back a little bit to give you guys a rough idea of what the height of the bed's gonna be. I'm roughly gonna have about 10 inches of depth between the upper rail and the bed itself. So that'll be plenty to put stuff in. I don't really plan on hauling anything heavy, but I went ahead and started getting some supports across. Up here in the front, I'm just gonna be welding it around to this support, which is strongly fastened to the B pillar of the car. Back there, it's setting on the rear mount that holds the tailgate. That's also a super strong piece. Gonna add a few more supports. There's also gonna be a couple more rails going from here to here, and a couple to give this a nice platform for my sheet metal bed to sit on. And I'm thinking about maybe possibly making this into a cooler because it's so deep, and I think it'd be kind of cool to have a spot to put some nice cold drinks when you're at the car shows or whatever I'm gonna end up using this for. If we're gonna go out and tailgate, go camping, whatever. I wanna make this a pretty useful little Civic truck, whether I haul parts for it or I just use it as a daily. Either way, I want it to function really well. So with that being said, what I'm gonna do is set you guys up on a camera, probably about right here. And I'm just gonna show you me making a couple more supports to fill in some of these sections to give that floor something nice to sit on. And also my side walls, I'm gonna remove these mounts and get those prepped for the sheet metal sides that are gonna be going on. So I'm gonna run some music and get this time lapse rolling. So as you guys just saw, I went ahead and made some more supports. Give you guys a close-up. I used the bar to go across to give me my level, to make sure that all this is all in the same plane roughly. Now none of this is perfect, okay? It's probably not the most super level. Nothing's like 100%, but it's gonna be good enough for what I'm building. But yeah, I got that tacked in. All these bars are just tacked for now, just because I want to mock it up, make sure I like it. If I have to move something, it's easy to break a tack weld off. But this side's done. I boxed around that. I plan on, so there'll be a door here, and I may even make a little flap here or a removable piece of floor, something, so I can access those struts. But I'm gonna go ahead and replicate what you just saw on this side over here. All right, so I got all of the basic structure in here. All this stuff here is all tied in, it's all tacked together. I'm gonna be doing a couple more supports, like I was saying before, a few that go down to the floor. I'm gonna add those in a few spots, and then we're gonna start working on This little door I want to be here, and possibly another one up front for the fuel. But then from there, we're gonna just start getting some sheet metal in here and get all this stuff tied together so it starts to look like an actual car. But with that being said, that's gonna be a wrap for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed what I came up with. There's a lot of different filming ways I could do this, a lot of different ideas I have. I would really like some comments down below to kind of see where I want to take this. Let me know what you guys think of this video, and I will catch you on the next one.